In a grand chamber aboard the alien warship, Xynar, leaders from across the galaxy gathered. They were a proud and powerful race, known for their immense battleships and advanced technology. Today, they were ready to discuss the latest reports about humanity and their so-called Dreadnought. The mood was light, filled with laughter and mockery. "Have you seen that thing?" One alien leader, Commander Zarak, sneered. "It looks like an old tin can. Pathetic." The others joined in the laughter, shaking their heads in disbelief. They couldn't understand why Earth, a planet they considered insignificant, would even attempt to build a warship. The Dreadnought was small compared to their massive vessels, and its technology was outdated. Zarak continued, "It's hard to believe humans think they can challenge us with that toy." Meanwhile, aboard the human Dreadnought, the crew was preparing for what they knew would be a difficult day. Captain Jenna, a determined and skilled leader, stood on the bridge. She looked at her crew, each one focused and ready. They were aware of the alien mockery, but they believed in their ship and its hidden power. "Listen up, everyone," Captain Jenna said, her voice steady. "I know they think we're weak, but we have something they don't: heart and creativity. This ship may look small, but it's equipped with technology they've never seen before. We're going to show them what we can do." The crew nodded, their spirits lifting. They had trained hard for this moment, and they were ready to prove themselves. Jenna knew that if they could survive the battle, they might just earn respect from the aliens. Back in the alien war room, the leaders made their plans. Zarak proposed a mock battle to demonstrate their power. "Let's invite them to a friendly match. We can crush them in front of everyone and show the galaxy how foolish they are to challenge us." The other leaders agreed, excited to display their superiority. "We will send them a message," another leader declared. "Let's make it clear that Earth is not a threat." The message was sent to the human Dreadnought, and Captain Jenna received it with a mix of anger and determination. She gathered her crew once more. "They want a battle? We'll give them one. But remember, this isn't just about winning. It's about showing them we are not to be underestimated." As the ships prepared for battle, the alien fleet, a massive formation of powerful warships, loomed in the distance. They were enormous, glimmering with advanced technology. The Dreadnought, on the other hand, looked small and unassuming. But inside it was filled with eager humans ready to fight. The mock battle began, and the aliens launched their attack first. The Dreadnought shook as it took the hits, and the alien leaders cheered from their command center, convinced of their impending victory. "This is too easy!" Zarak laughed, confident that the humans would be defeated in no time. But as the battle continued, something unexpected happened. The Dreadnought held its ground. With each attack, it absorbed damage, surprising the alien fleet. "What is happening?" Zarak shouted, confusion creeping into his voice. The humans, using their ship's unique defensive capabilities, managed to withstand the onslaught. Captain Jenna smiled, sensing that their resilience was causing doubt among the aliens. "Keep going!" she shouted to her crew. "We can hold on!" The alien leaders began to worry. They had expected an easy victory, but the humans were proving to be tougher than they had thought. Zarak looked around, noticing the uncertainty among his fellow leaders. "They can't possibly last much longer," he insisted, trying to maintain confidence. But inside he knew something was changing. As the battle raged on, the humans found strength in their unity. They fought not just for survival, but for their place in the galaxy. And as the Dreadnought continued to endure, a seed of doubt was planted in the minds of the alien leaders. Maybe, just maybe, humanity was not as weak as they had believed. And so, as the mockery continued, the stage was set for an epic clash where the fate of the human Dreadnought hung in the balance. As the battle commenced, the alien fleet moved in formation, their massive ships gliding through space like giants. The crew of the human Dreadnought stood at the ready, adrenaline pumping through their veins. Captain Jenna took a deep breath, her eyes fixed on the view screen where the alien vessels were coming into view. "Brace for impact!" she ordered, her voice steady but firm. The crew quickly prepared for the attack. They had trained for this moment, and they were ready to fight with everything they had. The aliens fired their first volley of energy blasts. Bright beams of light shot towards the Dreadnought, illuminating the dark void of space. The crew felt the ship shudder as the blasts hit, but the Dreadnought's shields absorbed most of the energy. "Shields holding!" shouted Lieutenant Marco, a young officer at the control panel. His eyes were wide with excitement and fear. The crew cheered, but they knew the real challenge was just beginning. Zarak, the alien commander, watched from his ship with a look of disbelief. "What is wrong with our weapons?" he shouted. "Why aren't they destroying that human ship?" The alien ships regrouped, preparing for another attack. Zarak clenched his fists in frustration. "Increase power to the weapons! We will show them no mercy!" Back on the Dreadnought, Jenna felt a surge of confidence. "They think they can scare us," she said, looking at her crew. "But we have a secret. Let's show them what we can do." With that, Jenna ordered the crew to activate the ship's advanced weaponry. The Dreadnought's cannons came to life, glowing with energy. "Fire!" she commanded. The humans unleashed a barrage of plasma bolts, and the alien ships were caught off guard. Bright explosions lit up the space around them, and Zarek's confident demeanor began to fade. "What is happening?" "They are fighting back!" he shouted. As the blasts struck the alien ships, confusion spread among their ranks. Some ships were hit, and the crew members began to panic. "We must regroup! We cannot let them win!" Zarek yelled, but the damage was done. The Dreadnought was proving to be a formidable opponent. On the Dreadnought, the crew celebrated their first success, but Jenna knew better than to get complacent. "Stay focused, everyone. This is just the beginning," she reminded them. "We have to keep pushing." The alien ships started to regroup, now aware that this battle would not be as easy as they had thought. They began to coordinate their attacks, moving in a tighter formation. Zarek quickly came up with a new strategy. "We will overwhelm them with numbers," he declared. "Attack in waves!" As the alien ships charged again, the Dreadnought prepared for the onslaught. The crew could feel the tension in the air. They had fought hard, but now they faced a renewed wave of alien power. The aliens attacked in waves, firing multiple energy blasts that rained down on the Dreadnought. The ship shook violently, and the crew struggled to maintain their positions. "Damage report!" Jenna shouted. "Shields at 70%, Marco replied, trying to keep his voice steady. "We can still hold on!" Jenna gritted her teeth. "We need to find a way to turn this around. Look for weaknesses in their formation." The crew worked together, analyzing the alien ships on their screens. After a few tense moments, one of the crew members shouted, "There! That group is falling behind!" Jenna saw the opening. "That's our chance! Focus fire on that group! Let's take out their weakest link." With renewed determination, the crew aimed their weapons at the vulnerable alien ships. The Dreadnought fired again, this time targeting the weakest ships in the formation. Explosions erupted as the blasts struck true, and the aliens began to lose their confidence. "Not so pathetic after all, are we?" Jenna said with a smirk, watching the chaos unfold. The tide of the battle was shifting, and for the first time, the alien fleet felt the fear they had once imposed on the humans. As the first clash continued, it was clear that the human Dreadnought was far from defeated. The battle was just heating up, and both sides were about to learn a powerful lesson about underestimating their opponent. As the battle raged on, the atmosphere aboard the Dreadnought was electric with anticipation. Captain Jenna stood on the bridge, her eyes sharp and focused. The crew had proven their strength, but now it was time to show the aliens just how powerful their ship really was. "Prepare to activate the advanced weapon systems," Jenna commanded. She could feel the tension in the air as her crew readied themselves for what was to come. They had been training for this moment, and she knew they were ready. "Target the alien ships on the left flank," she instructed. The crew members moved quickly, inputting commands into their control panels. The Dreadnought's cannons powered up, glowing with energy. Jenna could see the worry on the faces of some crew members, but she also saw determination. "Hold steady," she said, her voice calm and reassuring. "We've come this far. We can do this!" Meanwhile, on the alien flagship, Commander Zarek watched with growing frustration. The humans had surprised him before, but now they were starting to fight back harder than he anticipated. "What are they doing?" he shouted, eyeing the Dreadnought. "They must be out of options." But Zarek's confidence began to waver as he noticed the Dreadnought's cannons charging. "Get ready for another attack," he barked to his crew. "We will crush them!" Back on the Dreadnought, Jenna saw the alien ships begin to regroup, forming a tight formation once more. "They're trying to protect each other," she observed. "Let's break that formation apart!" "Ready to fire!" Marco announced, excitement in his voice. "Fire at will!" Jenna shouted, and the Dreadnought unleashed a powerful barrage of plasma bolts. Bright beams shot out, hitting the alien ships with pinpoint accuracy. Explosions erupted as the energy blasts connected, tearing through the alien formation. "Direct hits!" They're losing ships! Marco cheered, and the rest of the crew joined in the excitement. But Jenna knew they couldn't let their guard down. The battle was far from over. As the alien ships began to scatter, Zarek felt the tide turning against him. "Regroup! Focus fire on that Dreadnought!" he ordered, desperation creeping into his voice. The aliens fired back, their energy blasts lighting up the darkness of space. The Dreadnought shook as hits landed on its shields, but Jenna remained focused. "Status report!" she called out. "Shields at 50%, but holding," Marco replied. "We can still fight." "Good. Let's show them what we're made of," Jenna encouraged. "Activate the secondary weapon systems." The crew quickly worked to bring the hidden features of the Dreadnought to life. Suddenly, a series of smaller weapons emerged from the ship's hull, surprising both the crew and the aliens. The Dreadnought was no longer just a simple vessel, it was now a formidable force. "Fire the torpedoes!" Jenna commanded, and the smaller weapons launched toward the alien ships. They soared through space, leaving trails of light behind them. The alien fleet was caught off guard again as the Dreadnought unleashed this unexpected assault. "Take that!" Jenna shouted, her voice filled with excitement. The torpedoes struck their targets, creating massive explosions and further scattering the alien fleet. Zarek's frustration turned to alarm. "What kind of ship is this?" he demanded. "How can they have such advanced weapons?" The alien forces were losing their confidence, and Jenna could see the shift in their movements. "Keep the pressure on! We can't let up now!" she urged her crew. The Dreadnought moved with newfound agility, weaving through incoming fire and striking back at the aliens with precision. As the battle intensified, Jenna felt a rush of adrenaline. She could sense victory within reach. "Look for any weak spots in their formation," she instructed. "Over there!" shouted another crew member, pointing at a group of alien ships that were struggling to coordinate their attacks. "They're vulnerable! Target that group! Let's finish this!" Jenna commanded. With all their might, the Dreadnought fired again, aiming at the exposed alien ships. The plasma bolts flew true, and one by one, the alien vessels were taken out of the fight. The crew erupted in cheers, their spirits soaring as the tide turned in their favor. As the alien fleet began to retreat, Zarek realized he was losing control. "Fall back! We cannot let the humans win!" he ordered, but his command came too late. The Dreadnought had shown its true power, and the aliens were finally beginning to understand that humanity was not to be underestimated. With each passing moment, the human crew felt their confidence grow. They had unleashed the Dreadnought's full potential, and the battle was now theirs to win. As the chaos of battle continued, the tide was shifting in favor of the human Dreadnought. Captain Jenna stood at the helm, her heart racing with excitement. She could see the alien fleet beginning to falter, their once unshakable confidence now replaced by fear. The crew felt the energy in the air, and their determination grew stronger with every passing moment. "Keep firing," Jenna commanded, her voice echoing through the bridge. The crew worked together seamlessly, their focus unwavering. They targeted the remaining alien ships, which were now scrambling to regroup after the onslaught from the Dreadnought. On the alien flagship, Commander Zarek was furious. His once proud fleet was crumbling under the pressure of the human attack. "What are you doing?" he shouted at his crew. "Get your act together. We can't let a mere Dreadnought defeat us." Zarek's frustration only fueled the panic among his officers. They knew that the humans were not just fighting for survival, they were fighting for their place in the galaxy. The tide was turning, and the aliens were beginning to realize they had underestimated their opponents. "Captain, they're scattering!" Marco reported from his station, his eyes wide with disbelief. "They're losing formation fast." "Good! Let's take advantage of that," Jenna replied, a fierce determination in her eyes. "Focus on the ships that are isolated. We can finish them off one by one." As the crew targeted the weakest links in the alien formation, Jenna felt a surge of hope. They had trained for this moment, and now it was paying off. The Dreadnought fired again, the plasma bolts cutting through the darkness and striking their targets with deadly accuracy. One alien ship exploded in a brilliant flash of light, and the crew cheered. "We're doing it!" one crew member shouted, excitement filling the air. Zarek could feel the situation slipping from his grasp. "Fall back! We need to regroup!" he yelled, but his voice was barely heard over the sounds of chaos. The aliens began to scatter, losing their coordinated attacks as fear took hold. Jenna sensed the shift in momentum. "Let's keep pushing forward. They're breaking," she encouraged her crew. The Dreadnought moved swiftly, its cannons firing relentlessly. Each blast was a testament to the humans' strength and determination. In the depths of space, the battle raged on. Alien ships tried to retreat, but the Dreadnought pursued them relentlessly. Jenna had a plan. "We can't let them escape," she said firmly. "Let's cut off their retreat." With her orders, the crew shifted their focus, blocking the alien ships from fleeing. The Dreadnought became a force to be reckoned with, darting between the fleeing vessels and unleashing wave after wave of firepower. "Look! They're in disarray!" Marco exclaimed, pointing at the view screen. The once mighty alien fleet was now a chaotic mess, with ships colliding and struggling to escape. Zarak, realizing that his command was falling apart, made a desperate decision. "Regroup at all costs. We must hold our ground," he ordered, but it was too late. The aliens were losing too many ships, and morale was plummeting. On the Dreadnought, Jenna knew this was their moment to shine. "Now! Let's finish what we started," she shouted, and the crew rallied behind her. They targeted the most isolated alien ships, firing with precision. One by one, the alien vessels began to explode, each destruction echoing through space. Jenna could hardly believe what she was seeing. The humans were not just surviving, they were thriving. As the alien fleet fell apart, Zarak felt a wave of despair wash over him. "We can't let them win! We have to fight!" he shouted, but his words fell on deaf ears. The remaining alien officers were already abandoning ship, their confidence shattered. "Captain, they're retreating!" Marco called out, a mixture of disbelief and excitement in his voice. "We've done it!" Jenna couldn't help but smile. "Yes! We've turned the tide!" Her heart swelled with pride as she looked at her crew, their faces beaming with victory. They had fought against the odds, and now they were on the brink of an incredible triumph. The Dreadnought had proven itself to be a powerful force, and as the alien ships fled into the depths of space, the crew knew they had earned their place in the galaxy. They were no longer the pathetic humans. They were warriors, standing tall against the might of an alien fleet. With each victory, Jenna and her crew grew more determined. They would not let this moment slip away. The battle was not just about winning, it was about proving that humanity was a force to be reckoned with. And as the alien ships vanished into the darkness, the Dreadnought soared triumphantly, a symbol of hope and resilience. As the last of the alien ships disappeared into the vastness of space, the crew of the Dreadnought erupted in cheers. They had faced a powerful enemy and emerged victorious. Captain Jenna stood on the bridge, her heart swelling with pride. This battle would be remembered as a turning point for humanity. "Excellent work, everyone!" Jenna shouted, her voice ringing with excitement. The crew members exchanged high fives and smiles, celebrating their hard-fought victory. But Jenna knew there was still work to be done. "Status report," she called out, her voice cutting through the cheers. "Shields are down to 30%, but we're still operational," Marco reported, his fingers flying over the control panel. "Minimal damage to the hull. We can make repairs quickly." "Good to hear," Jenna replied, nodding. "Let's get to work on those repairs. We need to be ready for anything." As the crew began their tasks, Jenna felt a sense of camaraderie among them. They had fought together, faced danger, and now they were a united team. She couldn't help but smile as she watched them work diligently. Meanwhile, on the alien flagship, Commander Zarak surveyed the damage. His fleet had suffered heavy losses, and his pride was wounded. He had believed the humans were weak, but they had proven him wrong in the most dramatic way. "Prepare a transmission to the human Dreadnought," Zarak ordered, his voice filled with frustration, but also a grudging respect. He knew he had to acknowledge their strength. Back on the Dreadnought, Jenna received the unexpected communication. "Captain, we're getting a message from the alien flagship," Marco announced. The bridge fell silent as everyone turned to listen. Jenna took a deep breath and nodded. "Open the channel." The screen flickered to life, revealing Commander Zarak looking weary but resolute. "Humans," he began. "I come to you not as an enemy, but as one who recognizes strength when he sees it. You fought bravely today." The crew exchanged glances, surprised by the alien's words. Jenna maintained her composure and replied, "Thank you, Commander. Your forces fought well, but we are not as weak as you thought." Zarak nodded, a hint of respect in his eyes. "It is clear now that underestimating humans was a grave mistake. I offer a truce. We can learn from each other instead of continuing this cycle of conflict." The room fell silent as Jenna considered his proposal. A truce? It was unexpected but could be a chance for peace. A truce sounds reasonable, Commander. Let's discuss terms that benefit both our species. As they began to negotiate, Jenna felt a sense of hope. Perhaps this was the start of something new. They had fought hard, and now they had the opportunity to build a bridge instead of a wall. Back on the alien flagship, Zarek felt a flicker of relief. The humans had shown incredible strength and bravery, and he realized that they could be valuable allies. We can share technology and knowledge, he suggested. Together, we can strengthen our positions in this galaxy. Jenna listened intently, her mind racing with possibilities. Agreed. But we must establish trust. It won't be easy, but it's worth the effort. As the negotiations continued, the crew of the Dreadnought celebrated their victory while also reflecting on the future. They had proven themselves on the battlefield, but now they had a chance to change the narrative. No longer were they just a young species trying to find their place, they were emerging as equal partners. After hours of discussion, the terms of the truce were set. Both sides agreed to exchange knowledge, technology, and protection against other threats in the galaxy. Jenna felt a sense of accomplishment wash over her. They had not only survived, they had paved the way for a brighter future. As the transmission ended, Jenna turned to her crew. This is just the beginning, everyone. We've shown our strength today, but now we must build on it. Together we can achieve great things. The crew erupted in cheers once more, this time for the future. They had gone from being mocked to being respected. As the Dreadnought drifted through the stars, they knew they were no longer just humans. They were part of a greater alliance, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. In that moment, Jenna felt a sense of pride swell within her. They had turned the tide of battle and earned the respect of an enemy. And with that respect came a new hope for peace in the galaxy. The Dreadnought had not only survived, it had thrived, and so had humanity.